On July 10th, 2025, a date our trooper will never forget, one gray Mercedes GLC decided the speed limit was more of a suggestion than a law. And why do these luxury drivers always act like they're auditioning for Fast and Furious with a rental car budget? Because this guy wasn't just speeding, he was flying. Troopers clocked him at 92 in a 60, and the second they moved in behind him, he punched the gas like he had something to hide. Which, spoiler alert, he absolutely did. Once the lights came on, he treated SR 408 like an open runway. The suspect was blasting down the shoulder, slicing through traffic, and pushing the Mercedes to 135 miles an hour. At that point, he wasn't driving anymore. He was gambling with everyone's life on the highway. When he hit heavy traffic, troopers thought he might finally slow down, but nope. He shot onto the shoulder again, flying past dozens of cars and turning the chase into the most dangerous version of himself yet.
Alright, get ready for phone call. 57 if you can. Hold on, Mario. Hold on.
The SUV spun into the barrier, rolled to a stop, and that was it. Pursued over. Well, kind of, because then he tried a foot chase for about 10 seconds. Then he remembered cardio isn't for everyone and surrendered. Inside the car, troopers found pills, cash, a fake Glock-style torch lighter, and a driver who was already on inmate release for fleeing police. On December 5th, 2024, Arkansas State Police spotted a stolen red Chevy Trax flying down the highway at over 100 miles per hour. The troopers lit him up, but the driver wasn't even thinking about stopping. Instead, he launched straight into full felony mode, and while most people struggle to keep a Trax in a straight line at 60, this guy was trying to break land speed records in a stolen one. The driver was pushing over 100 miles per hour, blowing through traffic and passing cars right down the center lane. Troopers tried to stop him with a tactical maneuver, but it didn't work. He stayed on the gas. The chase spilled onto another highway, where he ran a red light at full speed and kept going, putting every single driver around him in danger. The suspect crawled out dazed, clearly intoxicated, and quickly found himself surrounded by troopers who were not amused. He was arrested on the spot. A blood draw was taken for DUI and the stolen vehicle was recovered. This chase was a reminder once again, persistence beats panic, especially when ASP is behind you. The driver now faces a long list of charges, including felony fleeing, DUI, and possession of a stolen vehicle. On November 12, 2025, just after 9:30 p.m., a trooper running stationary radar near Mayflower clocked a red Chevy Sonic doing 91 in a 75, and that was before the driver even committed to running. The Sonic abruptly switched lanes, stomped the gas, and by the time it reached the 140-mile marker, the speedometer had climbed to triple digits. The trooper lit it up at exit 142, but the driver, Morgan Momel, made his decision instantly: full felony mode.
I-86, Little Rock, 1037, B40 East, passing Morgan. Approaching 430. Speed's about 120, 125. Light traffic.
He blew right past the exit, weaving through traffic like he was speed-running a video game, forcing the chase eastbound toward Little Rock. Instead of slowing down, he doubled down, pushing over 120 miles per hour as the pursuit entered Interstate 430 southbound.
Yeah, here's Bob Momel.
CNS comments.
Alright, we're still south now. I was trying to get a bit there, approaching the Momel exit. We're passing the Momel exit, speed's about 120, 125.
Denver, copy, passing Momel, speed 120, 125.
Okay, we're coming off the bridge, we're approaching Cantrell.
Denver, approaching Cantrell.
We're in the number 3 fast lane. Fast lane.
CNS comments added.
The suspect pushed the car past 140 miles per hour, and for a moment the trooper lost sight of him. But minutes later, traffic finally slowed the suspect down, and once the trooper caught up again, everything changed. This was the most dangerous version of the driver yet, the point where desperation takes over. It got so bad that troopers were willing to risk everything just to stop him before someone else paid the price.
Closest unit.
Jump one.
CNS.
Okay, looks like we may take 630. Nope, we 430.
Come on, around 45. That's 14 Little Rock. I'm going to be secondary. I'll call it. For 430, southbound passing 5.
10-4, copy. 430, southbound passing 5.
Yeah, I think he's losing his front right tire.
Copy, he's losing his front right tire.
TVI 5.
CFS comments added.
He's got back control of it. I'm going to be primary.
Adam 14, 10-4, copy, is back in control.
CFS comments added.
TVI.
Adam 14, copy, TDI 939.
The suspect somehow recovered after a 100-mile-per-hour pit, but the next attempt ended the chase for good. Troopers pulled both the driver and the passenger from the vehicle and took them into custody without further incident. Let's hope Arkansas State Troopers taught them a lesson they won't forget for the rest of their lives. On October 7th, 2025, Florida Highway Patrol's Criminal Interdiction Unit got word of a high-speed pursuit blasting north up SR 91. And here's the twist. This chase wasn't just another speeder trying to outrun a ticket. It started with an armed carjacking in Broward County. Trooper Elvis Nolasco rolled in from the 94-mile marker and immediately spotted the suspect's vehicle ripping down the shoulder like it owned the turnpike. And if you've watched enough Florida pursuits, you already know the shoulder is basically where suspects go when they want to turn the highway into a video game. The suspect tore up the highway like he owned it, swerving through lanes aggressively, brake checking to bait a collision and shooting back onto the shoulder like he was running from gravity itself. With traffic finally clearing, Trooper Nolasco lined up for multiple pit attempts, but the suspect wasn't having it, and with the danger escalating fast, the trooper knew they had to react the moment the slightest opportunity opened, before this chase turned catastrophic.
No, keep on going. Keep on out.
10-4, I'm right on him. Approaching TJ.
9-7, remind those units school zones. Remind them school zones. If a helicopter's above,
Alright. You bitch made a U-turn back on John.
Can you advise, is the helicopter still as well?
On the ground, we have officers at gunpoint.
After the pit, every unit closed in at once, boxing the suspect tight with nowhere left to run. The driver, 49-year-old Leas MacArthur Corker Jr., a career offender with a revoked Florida license, surrendered as the reality finally caught up to him. A carjacker, multiple collisions, aggressive swerving, brake checks, shoulder driving, and somehow he still thought he had a chance. Florida troopers proved once again, they don't lose many of these games. On February 26, 2024, a trooper got word of a fleeing vehicle tearing down I-55 at nearly 120 miles per hour. Moments later, the silver Mercedes came into view, flying past traffic like the highway belonged to him. The trooper jumped into pursuit, but heavy traffic caused the suspect to slip out of sight. Minutes later, the Benz doubled back northbound, and that's when the trooper caught him at mile marker 36. When the trooper went for a pit, the hit was solid, but the impact sent the patrol unit sliding into the median and down into a ditch. The crash tore apart the front end of the patrol car, ripping through panels, the bumper, the TVI bar, even the radiator. But despite the damage, the mission stayed the same: stop the suspect no matter the cost. And a few moments later, another unit position ahead took over as primary.
33, he's running on rims, northbound, dark gray Mercedes. Front rim is gone. Let's get ready. We're at the speed's 120, 40 mile marker northbound.
When you get a clear spot, keep behind or get to that construction.
Stand by 130. TBI, give me a 1060.
After taking over the pursuit as primary, Trooper Thomas wasted no time. He stopped the suspect with a pit maneuver at nearly 120 miles per hour. The suspect vehicle was completely disabled, and with multiple units stacked behind him, there was nowhere left to run. He surrendered immediately and was taken into custody without further incident. On January 30th, 2019, things on Interstate 40 went from quiet to chaotic in seconds. A trooper had just released a violator when chatter from dispatch came through. Not one, not two, but three. Be on the lookouts for stolen vehicles out of Fort Smith, all within minutes of each other. Arkansas Highway Police Lieutenant Tim Gushing was already in pursuit of one of those stolen vehicles, a white 2004 Acura blasting northbound on I-540. The trooper moved in and became the secondary unit as the Acura ripped down the interstate at 100 miles per hour, passing traffic on the shoulder like he was allergic to the actual lanes.
You want me to continue in Oklahoma with them or stay? No, there's 2 units already in front of you.
She blow her motor or tire just now? Not her tire, but she is still continuing. Now I'm the one in the lead. You want me to end it?
What kind of speed is she driving now?
72 with that tire out. And it's picking up speed to almost 80 now, 90.
At the Dora Road exit, the suspect bailed off the interstate and went west, immediately crossing into oncoming lanes. With the road clear, troopers were advised to try pushing her off in the upcoming curve. 2 attempts sent the Acura fishtailing, but the driver somehow recovered each time and kept going.
We've taken door exit now. I have to wait till I get down here towards the bottoms. Yeah, I'll get it right up here in just 1 second.
From there, the chase crossed into Oklahoma on US 64D, heading straight back toward Fort Smith at 110 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's 10-4. I tried to knock her out there in the corner. It didn't work. We're in the bottoms now. You want me to try again?
Is it over or are they still in pursuit?
When the dust settled, officers found the driver, Brittany Putt, climbing out of the rear window. She was immediately detained and treated by EMS. The Acura, of course, was confirmed stolen, one of the very vehicles flagged in the earlier bolos. At the hospital, Putt was held on charges including theft by receiving, felony fleeing and driving on a suspended license, plus a probation violation. A week later, the trooper personally served her warrants, and after signing them, she was released on her own recognizance. At 3 a.m. on April 26, 2025, a white Dodge Charger came flying down Interstate 30 like it had something to prove. 100 miles an hour, no signals, just pure chaos on wheels. When lights came on, the driver actually slowed down, but only to pretend he was stopping. Seconds later, he punched it back up to 85 miles per hour. At that point, the message was clear. He wasn't pulling over and he wasn't thinking straight. And spoiler alert, he wasn't thinking at all. As the chase continued, the trooper stayed locked onto the Charger's bumper, still giving the driver a chance to make the smart choice and pull over. But with every passing second, it became obvious. This guy wasn't stopping for anything. So the trooper made his own decision. Enough games. If the driver wouldn't end it, the trooper would.
Just information, Jefferson.
Marquise Christian stumbled around so intoxicated he could barely understand commands. 3 active warrants, a suspended license, and still driving a Charger at 100 miles per hour. Honestly, the math just wasn't mathing. And when he got to the hospital, he doubled down, screaming, cursing, arguing with nurses, threatening to disrupt the entire ER. Eventually, the hospital said, "Enough," released him back to troopers, and he was booked into Pulaski County Jail on a grocery list of charges. On August 29, 2025, a simple sobriety checkpoint in rural Arkansas turned into one of those "how did we get here" moments. A white Chevy Tahoe rolls up and the driver, Kenneth Terrell, isn't wearing a seatbelt, has no ID, and suddenly needs to look for it inside the car. And when someone says that at a checkpoint, there's about a 90% chance they're about to floor it, and Terrell kept that statistic alive. The moment the trooper told him to pull to the shoulder, he punched the gas and launched straight into a reckless escape.
Before we get formed, we do it.
10-4, he slammed his brakes on.
Passing cars in no passing zones, cutting into oncoming traffic. It looked less like driving and more like a live demonstration of how to lose your license in 10 seconds. Troopers knew they had one option: stop him before he hit that crowd. So Corporal Jones moved alongside the Tahoe, waiting for that perfect TVI moment.
10-4, you might be able to pull ahead of me, pull up on him a little quicker than me. When we get up here, if I can't get up beside him, just pass me and get up there.
TVI.
TVI sent Terrell sliding off the highway, down a ditch, and into a pasture. And what does Terrell do? Does he surrender? Nope. He tries to hide under his own car. Officers pulled him out and placed him in custody without further incident. But the list of charges that followed looked like a full grocery receipt. Felony fleeing, suspended license, no insurance, reckless driving, and then the big stuff, including sex offender violations, protection order violations, drug test fraud, and parole revocation. On October 7th, 2025, things on I-75 went from routine to straight-up cinematic. A stolen white GMC van was blasting northbound, deputies already chasing it across county lines. And the question is, why is it always the slowest-looking vehicles that drive the craziest? As troopers joined in, the van ignored lights, sirens, and pretty much every traffic law ever written.
Alright, now like you passed them? Yeah. I will show you the plate if you can safely do it, but we're also in Troop C and I don't know what the status is of juveniles that can be done with safety. 1705, that let me go primary. Looks like I'm going to be 1031 at this point. 775, primary, 1031. What's your code, buddy?
About to pass the North Pole Plaza.
10-4. Can you advise 421? 421-48, Colonel James Call. R17 outside. St. Pete Police is 5 minutes near the end of the...
With the suspect swerving all over the road and endangering everyone on the bridge, troopers tried a pit maneuver. First attempt was unsuccessful, but the second attempt, it was a perfect hit.
10-4, charge that still northbound. 10-4, you hide the unit 10-4.
Get out! Get out now! Come in! Come in! You're okay. Come here, man. Come here.
The driver refused to surrender, forcing deputies to deploy a taser multiple times before finally taking him into custody. Turns out the driver, Travis Silva, was drunk, driving a stolen van, and had zero intention of slowing down for anyone. And honestly, refusing the breath test after all that, bold strategy. The passenger, Tamika Rayburn, wasn't innocent either. She had active warrants and was hit with a charge for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon